In December 1957, Irish recording artist Connie Foley came home for Christmas to his native Tralee in County Kerry. He returned to New York a few weeks later with a number of ballads he had recently heard, one of which was The Cliffs of Dooneen, which he subsequently recorded as an upbeat waltz-time ballad. Years later, a slower, more soulful version, albeit with a slightly altered melody and lyric, would be recorded by Christy Moore. But where exactly are the Cliffs of Dooneen, and who immortalised them in verse? First, here's Connie Foley.
I have travelled so far from my own native home, away o'er the mountains and away o'er the foam. I have seen many sights, but no fairer I've seen than the rough rocky slopes of the cliffs of Dooneen. I have seen many sights in Columbia's fair land, in Africa, Egypt, so delightful and grand. But give me a home where the grass it grows green, and the old rocky slopes by the cliffs of Dooneen. Take a view across the Shannon, grand sights you'll see there. High rocky mountains towards the west coast of Clare. The town of Kilrush and Kilkee can be seen, and the old rocky slopes of the cliffs of Dooneen. Fare thee well to Dooneen, fare thee well for a while, and all those kind neighbours that I'm leaving behind. May my soul never rest till I'm laid on the green and the rough rocky slopes of the cliffs of Dooneen.
The playwright and novelist from Listowel, County Kerry, Brian McMahon, was certainly familiar with the Cliffs of Dooneen as a ballad. Writing in the Kerryman in 1963, McMahon said he heard a fine version of the ballad a few years back in Willie Fitzmaurice's establishment in Beal, near Ballybunion, in northwest Kerry. Christy Moore learned his version of The Cliffs from fellow Kildare man Andy Rinn from Prosperous, and in 1972 The Cliffs of Dooneen was included on Moore's album, which was also called Prosperous. Since the Foley and Moore versions mentioned Kilrush and Kilkee, many people convinced themselves that the Dooneen Cliffs were in fact in County Clare. But not so. Not so at all, said the reporter who wrote the regular Around the County column for the Kerryman. Writing in February 1973, he let his readers know that he was not only ready, but was more than able to settle the debate once and for all. Echoing the thoughts of Brian McMahon, he said that the cliffs were definitely located at Beal, on farmland currently owned by the Wolfe family, and furthermore, the ballad was written by Danny McAuliffe. Danny, he said, who spent his youth living in Beal with his relatives, the Joyces, wrote The Cliffs of Dooneen when leaving Beal for America. These observations prized open the can of worms even further. A few weeks later, the Clare Champion informed its readership that the troublesome song known as The Cliffs of Dooneen may well have been previously known as The Cliffs of Moveen, and it may have been written by R.S. Roslawin, who came to live in West Clare early in the century. While others suggested that cliffs were to be found at Carrigaholt, County Clare, or at Rosscarbery Bay, County Cork, John B. Keane, who wrote a regular column for the Limerick Leader, said that he had received reliable information, which suggested that the ballad was, yes, written in Beal by a man called McAuliffe, but by a Jack McAuliffe, not Danny. We'll end our story with the ballad, as sung by that fine singer from County Clare, P.J. Murrihy, who included The Cliffs of Dooneen on his 2006 album There's life in the old dog yet. Here's P.J. Murrihy.
You may travel far, far from your own native home. Far away o'er the mountains, far away o'er the foam. But of all the fine places that I've ever been, oh, there's none to compare with the cliffs of Dooneen. It's a nice place to be on a fine summer's day, watching all the wildflowers that ne'er do decay. The hare and lofty pheasant are plain to be seen, making homes for their young round the cliffs of Dooneen. Take a view across the Shannon, fine sights you'll see there. You'll see the high rocky mountains on the west coast of Clare. The towns of Kilkee and Kilrush can be seen from the high rocky slopes round the cliffs of Dooneen. Fare thee well to Dooneen, fare thee well for a while, and to all the kind people I'm leaving behind, to the streams and the meadows where late I have been, and the high rocky slopes round the cliffs of Dooneen, and the high rocky slopes round the cliffs of Dooneen.